Welcome, my name is Najar, better known as Wuzi, and this is the Creative Balance Show presented by Wuzi Apparel. A show where we sit with creatives, hustlers, entrepreneurs, and other brand builders to understand their stories and the balance needed for their success. Today, we have the pleasure of sitting down with the amazing DJ Kase. DJ Kase is just that, a DJ, but don't be fooled. Her hustle and drive doesn't allow her to only hold one title. She is also a producer, musician, and a pet lover from the city of LA. Join us as we go through her journey of self-discovery in music, the hard decision to move back home, and the importance of maintaining your mental to truly enjoy your craft. Enjoy the show. Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Creative Balance Show. It's your boy Wuzi, and we're here at 88 Keys in Long Beach. Is it Long Beach?
Yeah, Long Beach, Lakewood.
Okay, Lakewood. Shout out to Omar for allowing us to record here. Yeah. Big shout out. Make sure you check it out if you're from the LA area. It's a really dope spot, actually.
It is. It's really dope.
Very jealous.
It's my first time being here, but I would love to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
As soon as possible.
And yeah, I'm here with a special guest. You hear chit-chatting a little bit with me, but I'll let her introduce herself.
What's up, y'all? My name is DJ Kase. I'm a DJ, producer, photographer, videographer, musician, all types of stuff. Animal lover.
Animal lover?
Yeah, I have to slide that in.
Do you have animals?
I do. I have, with me, I have a dog, a German Shepherd. She's been with me for about 8 years. I brought her from Fresno. Yeah. And then I have a cat. Her name is Hobbs. She used to have a brother, Calvin and Hobbs. But he's no longer with us, but she is. So, we're all good.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's dope. So I want to kind of really, first check in, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
At the time of recording this, just had a birthday.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
You know what? People ask, do you feel older? I do. I feel a little bit older in my body. Mentally, though, I feel like I'm evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things are aren't always going to be in my grasp, but I'm getting a bit more of a handle on things. So,
is it true that things get a little bit clearer as you get older? Like as far as like goals?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just, not saying like I know exactly what I want to do, but I know where to put my focus towards. I know what I want to spend my time on, with whom I want to spend my time with.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely things do get clearer.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to start off first because, I met you in Fresno. I don't have my water bottle, but I still have a sticker that we used to do. Yeah, it's like you had the two headphones, the DJ Kase.
Oh yeah.
All my letters are gone, but I just have the headphones there.
So, I gotta ship you out a new sticker. I got you.
But I remember when I think you're at Strummers when I first listened to a set, and definitely know how to pick a good set list. So followed you a little bit on in the Fresno scene and found out you moved out to LA, heard things are doing better for you out here. And
oh yeah.
On this, I wanted to kind of go into the story of DJ Kase, and so I wanted to first start off with, where are you from?
Yeah. Well, I am from LA, born and raised in Inglewood, then Carson.
Okay.
I was out here until I was 18, went to Fresno for college. But while I was out here, I did majorly 3 things. I went to school, went to church, and I played tennis. And I was really good at at most of those things.
Yeah. She's like all 3.
School was a little different because I learned differently.
Okay.
And I get bored very easily, but I learned so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So when it came to tests and just grabbing my attention in everyday classes, it was difficult. But I was in the honor program, magnet school, all that type of stuff. So I made it through.
Yeah.
All that to say, I made it through. Was able to go to college. But I did learn a lot of things, and I learned very quickly, and I'm able to teach myself a lot of things very quickly. And that goes into like the things that I do today. Almost everything I do today, I've taught myself how to do.
Yeah.
There have been those pivotal people who take me aside and they're like, let me teach you this one thing, let me teach you this skill, let me teach you blah blah blah. And I've learned, and I've like basically focused heavily on those things and grabbed a little pieces from here and there. But for the majority of stuff, especially the beginning of things, I taught myself how to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you too. You said so you grew up in this area, not this specific area, but the LA area.
Oh yeah, well, South Bay area. Yeah, I was down in Lakewood all the time, over in Torrance.
Okay.
So Carson is in between like Torrance, Lakewood, Long Beach, Downey, Compton area. So, and because I went to school in San Pedro, I was in this area way more than I was in downtown LA.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually started going to like downtown LA, NoHo, North Hollywood, as an adult when I moved back.
Okay. I want to ask you, because you know, when I was younger, I used to live in Hawthorne.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't claim LA because I'm mostly from Fresno. But I'm like, I always like to let people know, like, hey,
Yeah.
I lived in Hawthorne for a little bit. But I want to ask you, like, for people who aren't like familiar with like what it would be like to grow up in a neighborhood like LA or LA like area where it's so much going on. Like, I want you to talk about that a little bit. Like, how was it?
Man, I have a little different experience. Because I mainly did those three things. I was kind of sheltered as a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The first festival I went to, the music festival I went to, I DJ'd at.
Oh,
and
really?
that was in Fresno. That was Grizzly Fest.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So.
Hey, shout out to Grizzly Fest.
Really, straight up shout out to Grizzly Fest. Yeah, when it came to like music was always a big part of my life. But like the music scene, I'm just now getting into that in LA.
Okay.
Like when I moved back, now I'm in the music scene.
Okay.
I didn't know that growing up. But I came from a suburb. Just to be transparent, I'm a suburb kid.
She said, "I'm not in it."
Right. Right. We are close to Compton and Gardena and stuff like that, but it was very much so the suburbs.
Okay.
Where we would play in our backyard. We would go to the park and stuff like that. I didn't really we knew our neighbors, but. I wasn't over at their house, and they didn't have like kids for me to play with. We were the way the people actually like lived in our neighborhood. Now that I'm thinking about it, we didn't have a lot of kids on our street like that. Even though there was an elementary school right down the street that I went to, on our street itself, there weren't a lot of kids there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have childhood friends?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
How did you hang out with them? Was family friends or?
A lot of my childhood friends were from church.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I still church family. We keep in contact. Shout out to my church family. Every time I bring someone up, let's just be shout out to. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, always.
But I did have a few friends that went to my elementary school, and we would just hang out there. A few friends that when I started getting bussed out to schools, because I didn't go to school in Carson after middle school, so I started getting bussed out to to San Pedro area. So I'd have friends that we would I'd walk home with, but I wasn't really the way my parents were set up, and I'm not mad because the world is crazy. The world is so crazy. So I'm not really mad that I was sheltered, because I wasn't super sheltered. I still experienced the world, but I wasn't really able to spend the night over a friend's house.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because my parents didn't really know their parents, and anything could have happened. So I'm glad that my parents kept me away from the possibility of those things happening. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. I like how you because sometimes especially when you're a teenager, you're bitter, all my friends are over there and I can't be over. I'm at home But I mean, I think it's also good that you had like other things occupying your time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I got to go over to friends' houses, especially like my tennis friends too. When they would have events, like family events. I grew up around a lot of like Black, Filipino, and Samoan people.
Okay.
So I was introduced to the food very quickly, and I love any ethnicity, any type of food that is home cooked.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. If it's home cooked, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. So I was introduced to that, and I got to like go over their houses. You know, if there's a big group of us, and then I'd get picked up and go back home. But there was never like spending the night, nothing like that, really.
Do you have a favorite food, like a favorite ethnic food?
Oof, I have to say Jamaican only because I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the best. Jamaican food is the best. Sorry. Shout outs to everybody else, but I'm sorry. Jamaican food is the best.
I mean, I see jerk on everything, so it makes sense.
There it is. you heard it here first.
Yeah. But I think that's pretty cool. I really I don't know. I didn't expect anything, but like I definitely didn't expect that. Like that's pretty neat, especially being in a city like LA, because I definitely had the ghetto LA experience when I was here, like walking everywhere. Granted, I'm just only with my family, but we're walking and riding the bus everywhere, and like you said, it was a crazy is a good word. It's a crazy city.
Yeah. And I had those experiences, but not as many as others do. I have friends that had those experiences more than I did, but I'm never gonna front and be like, oh yeah, living in LA was tough. Like no, I grew up in a very privileged household, and
Nice.
and I acknowledge that very, very quickly. Doesn't mean still don't have the mindset of a hustler. I've been hustling since I was like 7 for no reason.
For no reason.
No reason at all. It's just in me.
What's a 7-year-old hustle looking like?
So when I was in elementary school, Pokemon cards.
Okay.
Pokemon came out, and it came out heavy.
Yeah.
And I remember for one of my birthdays, I got a tracing book.
Okay.
Right, to learn how to draw Pokemon. And so I was like, I'm just tracing it, I'm putting it on different types of paper. You're supposed to use this tracing book to learn how to draw, but I'm like, nah, I'm just about to trace the heck out of all of these. So I, sometimes shade in black and whites, do some color, and kids at my school were like, oh, that's dope. How much? And I was like, 25 for the black and white, 50 cents for the color ones.
Yeah.
In a week, I made $20.
Nice.
Only reason I stopped is because there was this girl at my school whose mom worked at the school, and she was an addict.
She kept buying them.
She kept coming and was like, I want this one, I want that one. And I'm just like, okay, chill. We have other customers. Like, I can't pump them out as quickly as you want me to. You gotta chill. And she was like, if you don't give me what I want, I'm telling my mom. And I got scared as a kid because her mom worked for the school. Her mom worked there as a librarian. So I was like, all right, we're shutting the whole operation down. So I made $20 in a week off of like 25 cents, 50 cents.
Always a hater.
It be the haters. So you either got to push through or you just got to shut it down and move on. And that's what I did. I moved on to other things. I remember after that, I was like, I used to have like, I say used to because I don't write as much, like my penmanship.
Yeah.
My penmanship used to be very, very good. And I know they don't teach cursive in school anymore, but I used to have really nice cursive.
Okay.
And so I'd be in the 3rd grade and I have 5th graders coming up to me and saying, oh man, that's dope. Like, your handwriting's so nice.
Yeah.
Can you write this for me? And I'd be like, yeah, for a fee.
For a fee. It's always a fee attached.
I mean, why work for free?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I did. Yeah, and honestly, my hustle mentality is why I'm a DJ today.
Okay.
You want to hear that story right now?
Well, I want to actually ask you, where does that stem from?
Where does the hustle?
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's just in me.
Yeah. You got any family members like dad, grandpa, uncle?
I'm just gonna say it's because I'm Jamaican.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to Jamaica, but I've definitely seen the videos of like them really getting to it. Like,
oh yeah, the stereotype of like Jamaicans are lazy because they smoke weed and blah blah blah. It's a big old stereotype. It's not true. Like Jamaicans, the other stereotype that Jamaicans have 3 jobs, like it one of them has to be true.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's that Jamaicans have 3 jobs, 3 or more jobs.
Yeah.
That's like we're hard workers.
Yeah.
And I know other ethnicities are, other people are. It's not just a generic like blanket, but that's basically it's in me. Like there was no reason why I wasn't struggling growing up at a time I was. Right? But and it kept me in those times when I was struggling, but in the beginning I wasn't.
Yeah.
So there was no reason for me to hustle. It was just in me.
Just in you.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, because I'm gonna get into the DJ thing, but I'm gonna ask you this real quick, because I want to know you said you're always into music, but you only recently went to a festival not that long ago. Where does that come from? Like, is your family were they heavy into music as well, or? Yeah,
my family's a pretty we love music, and we have a few musicians in the family, and my parents have just always played music, and very eclectic type of song choices, and that you'll see that in my sets where I'll go from this genre to that genre, from this artist to that artist, and I'll make them blend together so well that you would think it was intentional, and it is on my part. But that's just how I do it. I've grown up listening to R&B, gospel, all decades, to folk music.
Okay.
That's what is playing in my household.
Yeah.
To rock, to just all types of genres. There is one genre that I absolutely cannot stand.
Say it's country.
It's country.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting into country lately. I can't lie. There's a song called One Beer. I'm addicted to it. I found my country voice. So I was with you. Like, maybe if you got me a year before, I'm like, yeah, I hate country, but Thomas Rhett's starting to win me over. Some people. It's low-key like rap.
Good. Don't say that.
They be catching the beat, man. I'm not going to lie.
It's low-key. Country is low-key like rap. I didn't say that. I'm echoing this. This is not supported by DJ Kase.
Hey, I'm going to stand on it.
Oh, well. They are good storytellers. They're good storytellers. That's about it. That's all I have to say about that.
That's what's up. So, what's some... I know you said it was a bunch of music in your house. So, is there any instruments or maybe artists or anything like that really stand out?
Well, when we talk about instruments, I'm a drummer.
Okay.
So I love a lot of the songs that I love have a heavy drum beat, and my musical taste has changed throughout the years too. Artists I grew up on because of my older sisters. I grew up on East Coast, hip hop, 90s R&B, early 2000s, because that's when I was a kid. That type of stuff, like Lauryn Hill, Tribe Called Quest, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, like that. That's my jam.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my jam. And then we get into the 2000s, Ludacris, just stuff like that, Ashanti, all that. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell you love the music.
Yeah, that's my default. I can play anything. Yeah. Temptations to Selena.
Okay.
Those are in my playlist at all times. But my jam, if you really want to have a great time and see me just excel, 90s and early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. The oddity of the hustler spirit is that it's almost impossible to pinpoint its beginnings, but it's easy to notice its characteristics. DJ Kase described her childhood as being sheltered, growing up in the burbs, focused on only 3 things: school, church, and tennis. Yet that didn't stop her from capitalizing on opportunities as they arise. From selling Pokemon drawings for a fee to using her penmanship to make some extra dough, it's safe to say that the hustler spirit has been there from a young age. But we can't forget a less promoted characteristic of a true hustler: the inner pressure to be honest. DJ Kase doesn't act like someone she isn't. She boldly expresses who she is, which, as we continue to listen, we'll hear how that spirit helps her to strive to be the best she can be in her craft. Okay, that's what's up. So I want to get into now where, like you said, you named different things, a bunch of different things you got into. Like, where does it start for you? Like, I would say that you're creative, you know, like of the things that I've heard you say that you do. And I want to ask you, like, where does that begin, you know? Like, I know you said, like, where does it begin as far as like a career path?
I think so. I went to college, and what I went to college for animal sciences. That's why I say I'm an animal lover. But I've always had animals, and I've always loved animals. From the point where I was like a little girl in the backyard, playing with snails and nursing baby birds.
Okay.
With broken wings back to health, stuff like that. But when I got to college, I was like, I don't think this is really what I want to do. And then I started producing and making music. Before then, I had done a lot of writing and played around with instruments, and I was a musician, but I actually started producing in college.
Okay. And
then very quickly after that, I started DJing.
Okay.
I'm glad I was a producer before I was a DJ.
Okay.
And I'm glad I was a musician before any of that stuff, because that's very rare to see and find a DJ that understands not only just like how music works as a whole, like composition, melodics, knows how to really count bars, phrasing, all that type of stuff, but is also a musician, understands keys. Okay. There are a lot of DJs that do not mix in key.
No.
I'm not going to say that's okay, but it's working for them.
Yeah.
For some of them. But you'll know the difference when a DJ is a musician and understands music really.
Yeah.
I can sit here and know every single artist, know every single sample of every single song. But if I don't know how to, I don't know the keys and how to mix and key, it's a big flaw.
Yeah.
And you'll see a lot of people, like, I have my flaws.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of people who are really good at emceeing and hype the crowd that way, and that's how they get around their flaws. But my goal in life is, whatever I do, is to be well-rounded.
Yeah.
At it. Yeah, and because I do a lot of things, I hope to one day be a master of something. Okay. And know everything, like ins and outs of it. But I want to be as well-rounded as possible.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, so I want to ask you, you said that you're happy that you were a musician, then a producer, and then a DJ. And I understand you talked about a little bit about the phrasing, things like that, but and the keys, like the key of the music. Mm-hmm. But like, what do you feel like is like the biggest like strength that comes from that? Just
I haven't done it yet, but I've done a lot of DJing other types of music in different languages. Mm-hmm. So the reason I'm able to do that is because I understand what a waveform looks like. I can look at a waveform and not even listen to it and know where the kick and the snare is, because I've been producing. And so basically you just have to know that and know how to count bars and math, basic math. Okay. And then you can transition and mix songs that way. I did a whole set one time in Fresno. Shout out to the homie Ome DJ. it was at her. It was in the backyard of one of her family members, and they're Latino, and so they had their laptop, and they were just like, "Hey, DJ," and I was like, "Okay." So I took Spanish in high school. I know a little bit.
Yeah.
Not enough.
Yeah. Not enough
for the years that I took. But I was able to DJ for a good over an hour.
Okay.
Of music that I knew maybe 2 songs.
Okay.
And the reason I was able to do that is because, again, I can look at the music and cue it up and know what I need to do before even listening to it. Listen to it real quick and then boom, transition. And it's just understanding how music is made, because yes, there are some anomalies in the music and all of music, but for the most part, mainstream music is pretty much set up the same. You're gonna have a chorus, verse, chorus, or verse, chorus. Like it's gonna be, it's very similar. Yeah. And knowing phrasing, knowing how to count, understanding what things look like visually. I'm able to do that, so I don't really have to like listen as much. Now, do I take advantage of that? Yes, very much so. So sometimes I don't prep as much as I should. Yeah. But that also makes it very good to like on the fly. If someone's like, "Hey, can you play this song?" And I'm like, "Oh shoot, like I've never heard this song before." Yeah. But yes, I can play it. Yes, nice. I can mix it into what I'm doing.
Is it true that when people do that, like DJs hate it?
It depends.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yes. Let me tell you why. Because we understand that we're not saying that it's not a good song. It may just not be a good song for right now. Yeah. Especially when people are like, "Oh my gosh, can you play something I can dance to?" And you look out on the dance floor and people are dancing. And it's like, okay.
Dance your dance?
So it has definitely bitten me many times where I take a request, I play the request, and then everyone on the dance floor is like, "What the heck?
Who put this on?" Yeah.
So what I do sometimes is say, "This is a special request by so and so, or by the bride," or not to really like throw them under the bus, but for people to understand like this is the host of the event and they want to hear this right now. Yeah, exactly. Now if it's a random person that comes up to me and they have no affiliation to really like strong affiliation to anyone, I will say I'll do the best I can. I'll try it out. I'll listen to it in the headphones. If it does not go, I'm not playing it, or I'll play it later. If they happen to tip me, you know what? Money talks. Yeah. But for the most part, we understand the music that you like is what you like. But there's so many different factors that go into transitioning from song to song, and also just like really keeping the party going. Exactly. One of the biggest things is people will always come up and they want a song and it's never in the same BPM. So it's not even close most of the time. Like if I'm going like this and you come and you ask for a song that's like it, I can't do that. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to wait till I slow down the set, till I make it more intimate, or not. And there are also the type of requests where people come up and they're like, "Oh, can you play this?" And it's like, if you were here 5 minutes earlier, you would have heard that song. I can't play it right now because it's just bad on my part. Yeah. So if I'm playing for another 2 hours, you'll hear it at the end of the 2 hours. Just being honest, I might play it again at the end of the 2 hours, but if this is a 45 to an hour set, you're not going to hear it. Sorry, I just played it. And so it's just letting people know and being as understanding as possible in their approach and also in your explanation. Yeah.
I remember I was learning a little bit about DJing. I always admire DJs because I can't do it. Like I can make a playlist, but I can't make like a playlist where the song goes into another one. Like I just don't have that ear. What? Yeah. I mean, maybe if I took some time, but I don't. I'm trash at it. I was like too many weird music. I'm like I just like learned about energy level. Like I don't know if it's technically energy levels, but like I was watching a breakdown of like famous people's sets and like watching how they like get the energy level up, and then bring it down for a rest, and then bring it back up, and like not realizing that's what they're doing, but when you hear it, like now realizing that, like, oh, you know, there's like everybody's on the dance floor, then it's like, okay, everybody chill out, and then bring it back up, and I was like, wow, like even like watching like how a rave DJ, like a person who does raves, how they DJ, and theirs is a little bit different than someone who's like a, you know, a hip hop party and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty neat to like not to realize like there's a lot more that really goes into it for sure.
Oh, there's a lot. Yeah. And one thing that I do is I take a little bit of each. I was blessed to learn off of hip hop DJs, house DJs, EDM DJs, open format. That's technically what I am right now is open format. And one of the things that's great is so I can go from genre to genre, from BPM, beats per minute to BPM, and my transitions will be different because of those different types of lessons that I learned from DJs.
Nice.
Hip hop DJing is so different from house DJing, and in order, like, imagine like transitioning. I think that's one of the things that set me apart is I would transition like a mixture of those two, with random, like, just regular hip hop songs, hip hop and R&B songs. Yeah. So like you don't usually hear that, the type of like house build up, in a hip hop and R&B set. Yeah. So I think like early on that's really what set me apart, especially in Fresno.
Yeah. We all have strengths and weaknesses. The difference between who's good and great is dependent on how you manage those differences. DJ Kase found herself going down the path of being a musician, then a producer, but when she found herself on the turntables, those past experiences became her greatest strengths. She didn't stop there though. She recognized her own weaknesses and learned from those around her to enable herself to be more well-rounded. Whether it be taking lessons from EDM DJs to better her transitions, or using her knowledge of waveforms to branch out into new music, DJ Kase has remained hungry to learn and perfect her craft, which has put her in positions to succeed. Now let's take a step back and find out the history of how she became a DJ to begin with.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you then, like, I know you said you learned how to DJ in college, and first of all, I just talked to Berto not too long ago. Same thing. He said he got a lot of his creative lessons from college too, and yeah. I think people need to do more of that, because I mean, granted we have a lot more information on the internet, so you don't have to. But hey, if you're in college, take advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you forced to take electives, like why not do something cool like that? But I wanted to ask you, like, so where does that start? Where does the story begin from college to then doing like paid sets? Like, how does that work? Was it like you kind of like eased into it? You fell into it? What did that look like?
Yeah, well, it was 2006. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I remember the exact day.
Right. No, when I got to college, I had this, before in high school, I had this laptop. It was a hand-me-down PC. I think it was a Dell.
Okay.
From my older sister. And I remember my junior and senior year in high school, again, on my hustle.
Yeah.
I was burning MP3 CDs.
Okay.
All right. Aging myself right now.
It's okay.
I know it's okay. I'm still fine. No, but I was burning MP3 CDs, and and I remember my friends would come up to me. They'd give me a list of like 1,000 songs, and I'd burn it on there, like $10 for a CD. I did that for 1 year. Immediately after, I think it was like mid-junior, and the iPod came out. The first iPod came out. And I was like, okay, I have to adjust because I want to continue to do this, right? So people literally gave me their brand new iPods, and they said, hey, put 1,000 songs, put these songs, and they'd write them out. So I would go onto like LimeWire and download the songs, and at the time we're kids, we're listening to mainstream music, so it was all the same 1,000 songs.
Yeah.
And it varied. So like at the end of this, I literally went to college with 20,000 songs on my laptop.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And a lot of it, like I would take my sister's CDs and burn and turn them into MP3s.
Nice.
And that was a good list that I had. I'd take my parents' old school stuff and put them on there too. So I had, and then the new stuff that I downloaded from LimeWire. Shout out to LimeWire.
LimeWire influenced the whole generation.
I know, right?
He's the reason why we have Soulja Boy too.
So I did all that and got to college and had that many songs, and I was like, okay, well, I got some music. I'm introverted. Hello. Shout out to my introverts. I didn't really like partying, like being on the dance floor, dancing in a half circle or circle with my girls. Like, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
At all. Still not really me. So I just I'd stick over by the DJ booth.
Yeah.
At this point, I had no idea that I wanted to DJ. And I'd just be like, I like what they do. Let me see if I can teach myself how to do it. I bought a tiny Hercules controller. It was smaller than a laptop. Threw a party at my place and just went from deck A to deck B, deck 1 to deck 2. Just boom, at the end of the song, transition and beat. And I literally, for a good year, taught myself how to DJ.
Nice.
Just throwing house parties.
Nice.
And then someone was like, oh, can you DJ my wedding? And I said, okay.
Yeah.
And that's my first wedding, $50.
Nice.
Yeah, charged $50. It was the homie. And at that time, she was my mentor. And she's like, yeah, can you DJ my wedding? And it went great. After that, my next wedding was $200.
Nice.
Right? It was in the back of a $1 million house. Now, it wasn't her house, so that's why I only charged her $200.
Yeah.
But she had to connect. And so after that, it was just like, boom, boom, this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Got some business cards printed out, and I was like, all right, I'm DJing. I DJ'd at churches, DJ'd at kids' parties, and then just did a lot of businesses, private stuff. I was DJing private gigs and weddings for about 5 years before y'all even saw me in Fresno.
Nice.
Doing public stuff in Strummers and at Grizzly Fest. So I had about 5 years under my belt, probably a little bit more before I really was like, all right, I'll take this public.
Okay. And how was that? What was that? Well, actually, I'm always bad. I gotta acknowledge it. I think that's really dope. To especially they were talking about the overnight success. It's like you're really in the trenches for 5 years, DJing in private events. How was that reception when you went from private to public? Like, was that even not just the reception, but how was that that transfer over? Was it different? Was it easy? Was it hard?
It was definitely difficult. I had to change my branding because before then I was doing a lot of private stuff, corporate stuff. So I was playing a lot of clean music. But now when I'm playing in a lounge in a club, they don't want to hear the clean versions. So my business cards went from clean music only to DJ Kase.
Yeah. Nice.
Now at corporate stuff, that's one of my questions. Do you want clean music only? Mm-hmm. Because I still if there are kids around, I'm not playing, be this and I'm not doing that really.
Yeah.
Unless the mother says it is okay, then we will play it late at night. But I'm not doing that.
Exactly.
So it's still a big part of who I am, but my brand, it's not face forward. So it was a little difficult. I did have to, and I'm still doing that, is branching out into different types of music and not playing the generic mainstream stuff, because that's what corporate and wedding is. It's mainstream music, stuff I hear on the radio, the stuff I love, the stuff I grew up listening to. Now, when I'm in clubs and lounges and just doing regular festival stuff, I get to experiment and I get to play remixes, some that I found, some that I produced myself.
Nice. And
I just get to really show you guys the creative part of me, the musician part of me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So there's there's a more freedom in the open space.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I love all the types of events that I do, but what really feeds my soul is when I just get to do me. And I feel like that's really when I thrive, is when people just enjoy the journey that I'm taking them on, the atmosphere that I'm creating, because that's literally what I do.
Nice.
Is I'm an atmosphere changer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a test to your skill too, because some people, I've been to a couple of DJ sets where actually, funny story, I was in Utah, mind you.
That was your first mistake.
No, actually, shout out to Salt Lake City.
All right.
Underrated. There was, oh man, I'm so bad. I don't remember the name of the club right now, but it was a club where you go in, and the first area you walk in is like Latino music. Mm-hmm. So it's more like, or I guess you say ringtone.
Yeah, that's a genre. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like that type of music.
Okay.
And then there's this long hallway that seems like you're going somewhere the wrong way. Like halfway through, you're like, am I in the right area? Mm-hmm. And then there was a hip hop section.
Okay, that's kind of dope.
And I had, it was really dope actually. Yeah. It's like I saw so many black people there. I remember in the bathroom, I was like, listen, I've been in Utah for a couple of days. Where y'all at? And he was like, we at work. I said, that makes sense. So went there. We were there for a week. The first Saturday we get there, we go there, and the DJ was great. Like, I wouldn't say 10 out of 10. I'll be like 9 out of 10 because I don't think I've experienced a 10 out of 10 DJ yet. But
wait, so what am I?
You're a 10 out of 10 DJ.
Okay, I was about to leave. I was about to get up.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I've never been to like a Coachella or anything like that. I've never experienced like a big crowd and see what that's like. I've only been like in intimate settings.
Yeah, no, that's good.
For me, 10 out of 10 for sure.
No, you can be honest.
Yeah,
I'll mess with you.
Honest? I'm scared now, but we went there and DJ was great. Like, it was such a vibe. Like, everybody there was a good time, whatever. So it like stuck with us. We're like, before we leave, we have to go back. Mm-hmm. So we go, cover charge. We don't care. It was a vibe last time. We go, and it was a new DJ. And listen, I don't think, you can't judge a DJ, but when I saw this DJ,
yes, you can.
I had a feeling like, oh, this is not about to be a good DJ. Mm-hmm. And it was like a weird thing going on. It was like a local rapper who had his whole posse on there, and the audio wasn't the best. And then when she went into the music, she just wasn't playing she was playing songs that people enjoy, but just wasn't playing them the right way. Like, it was just bad. And it made me realize, like, man, like, a DJ really can affect the entire, like, your entire decision of the place. And I hope they never brought her back. But, like, I remember, like, that second time, like, I remember me and my cousin were literally driving home and, like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That DJ was trash. He was like, I'm so glad you said it. But I just had to say that.
No, that's real. When I do weddings, and I've said this since the beginning, like, what people remember most importantly is how beautiful the bride looked. How good the food was, every once in a while, and then how good the music was.
Yeah, exactly.
So those decisions are so important. Mm-hmm. If I'm not the right fit for you, then I'm not the right fit for you. I'm not salty because of it. If that's your big day, if it's whatever type of event it is, whatever bar, club it is, I want the people to enjoy themselves whether I'm there or not.
Yeah.
But if I'm there, you're going to enjoy yourself.
Okay.
But yeah, if I'm not the right fit for you, then that's just what it is.
Okay. So I want you to go into, as comfortable as you are, I want you to go in that transition, because how long were you in Fresno when you went public as far as DJing?
I've never actually, I need to do this and like sit back and really like mark the years. I'd say I was, because I think like the last 4 maybe 5 years in Fresno is when I went public. So I was there for a good 5-6 years before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to know, like, I want you to talk about, or even this, how does a DJ like measure, I don't want to use the word success, but like, how do you know you're getting better as a DJ? Like, what is that, like, how is that measured? Because I was thinking about it before we talked. I'm like, is it money? Is it just the overall, the people who are inviting you on? Like, what does that look like as a DJ?
I think most importantly, it's what you want your goals to be.
Mm-hmm.
I could never get another gig. I pray to God that doesn't happen. But I could never get another gig after today. But I could be in my garage really working on my skills.
Okay.
And if that is my goal, is to be the most skilled DJ,
Mm-hmm.
then me working every day in my garage is going to get me there.
Okay.
If it's my goal to be on a big Coachella stage, whatever I'm doing to get there, that's how I really measure success. Is what is your goal?
Okay.
Do you want to be a bedroom DJ producer? Are you having a million streams? How long did it take you to get there? That's the measurement. I don't think every single DJ has the same goal. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
I want to be, my goal, to be honest, is right now is to tour with an artist, and I'm
Nice.
working on that. That's in the works right now.
Nice.
Is to tour with an artist, just be an artist DJ, and I'm also a producer, and so to actually make make streams off of that too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a pretty good goal, actually.
yeah. Speaking of a little plug, I just dropped a mixtape. It's called
Okay.
DJ Kase Mixtape.
Okay.
You can find it on Bandcamp.
Nice.
The link is below.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll put it in there.
I did not even know if he did that. I just was gonna do it anyway.
It's okay. She's like, I'm gonna comment
It's
on
like it's happening.
Yeah.
It's below.
it. So I want to ask you. I remember we've talked about it, but I want you to go into like what that experience going public in Fresno and how that ended up ultimately getting you to LA.
Yeah.
back
So
home.
Fresno, I had some good times and some hard times in Fresno. Going public, I was able to gain a following. More people learned and knew about me. I guess that's the pros of it. I got to play in more areas. But just to be honest, especially when you're just starting out, club gigs, they do not pay like corporate and wedding gigs do. Even though they may be like a little bit more fun depending on your style.
Mm-hmm.
I think wedding and corporate gigs are fun too. Just to be honest, any place where where people are having a great time is fun to me.
Exactly.
If I'm curating the sound and you are dancing and forgetting that you got bills to pay, that you got kids at home, not like forgetting about the kids, but
like, I'm never going back.
but like the responsibility and the heaviness on your shoulders, if you are on the dance floor and you're forgetting about that, or even if you're just in your chair chilling and bobbing your head, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. It was a bit difficult going public because the pay isn't the best. And ultimately, that's why I had to leave.
Yeah.
I had to leave Fresno because I was on big stages in Fresno, but I was getting paid pennies,
Yeah.
just to be honest. Yeah, people, they loved my sound, and they were able to use me and use that sound. Shout out to all my sons in Fresno.
I credit y'all.
Only reason I say that and only reason I have the ability to say that is because I was chilling somewhere. I forget what bar it was, but some random person came up to me and they were like, "What, DJ Kase? I thought you were just down the street playing because I heard a DJ that sounded like you." And I was like, "Oh, my bad. I'm so unprofessional."
You're good.
And they're like, "Yeah, I heard a DJ that I thought it was you because they sounded like you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was like my last, it was like the last 2 years that I was in Fresno.
Oh wow.
So yeah, shout out to my sons. I'm glad that I'm able to help, just like form a culture.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us are. A lot of us have some type of influence in the game and in what we do.
Okay.
So there are people that influence me out there,
Mm-hmm.
and the skills that they have, and that were able to teach me, I walked away with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the most part, I had to leave because the pay just wasn't the best for me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I'm greedy and I'm like, I need this much. Like, I literally was not able to live. Being transparent with you, I had to move back to LA.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And then that move back, were you able to? I want to address that. I think it's cool. I think it's crazy to think like. So that's like the weird thing about being a creative. It's like, it's like it's frowned upon to like sell out and do like if you went back to private events, it'd be like, oh, what the. But that's where the money is versus like I'm with the people, and you're getting more notoriety and more people know you, but the money that doesn't equate as far as financial return.
Oh, definitely. And there are a lot of things that I could have done better, but that comes with age and growth and experience. Like my business mind, even though I'm a hustler, I am a hustler.
Yeah.
Like I should have went to school for business.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then I could have, gotten the technical aspects of it and learned a bit more. So there are things, I'm not just going to say it's the culture and the people out there that's stunted my growth. No, I have, some accountability.
Yeah.
And it too, I could have done a lot of things better. But out here, I'm able to, I got this tribe. I got this tribe of musicians.
Yeah.
That have really, just they watched and seen what I could do. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, you're dope. And arms open, they've taken me up and they're helping to cultivate truly like who I want DJ Kase to be.
Nice.
So that's why like my goal right now, it's not my overall goal, but my goal right now is to be a musician, an artist DJ.
Okay.
Because I love musicians.
Yeah.
Like I am a musician, but I love a good band. I love a great band. And that's like my friends are some of my favorite musicians for real. Like, and I met them out here during the pandemic because I moved out here about 6 months before the pandemic, having no understanding, but God knew. Mm-hmm. He was like, it's time to come back home. 6 months later, pandemic. And I was like, oh, thank God for the safety net.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if I was out in Fresno, it'd be over. It'd be a wrap, to be honest. But he brought me out here. Did a little bit of a refinement, and now I'm on the up and up.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And so I'm surrounded by a great set of people who are like-minded and who are working hard and who are amazing at the craft that they do. The skill and the talent that these people have. So amazing. And I'm just like, for real, I'm like, dang. Not to be like, I'm not good enough, but like the fact that I get to be in the same circle as some of these people is amazing. And I thank God for that. But yeah.
So I want to ask you something. This is me, a personal nerd to me, because I was learning about, I don't think this defines an artist, but I was learning about like I watched a video clip of Jay-Z getting mad at the DJ because he was playing his song with the lyrics. And I kind of want you to explain that a little bit for me, because like I don't think people know about like there's certain caliber of artists that don't use their MP3 as far as like their song they release. They actually use their actual beat. And I want you to kind of go over like why that's a thing and like what makes it better or worse.
It could just be the quality of the MP3. I'm getting into playback, and playback is basically, I think it's like a DJ and a producer. The simplest way to explain it is like a DJ and a producer at the same time, playing tracks for the band and the artist to hear. And so that's I don't remember that specific instance, but I've seen so many videos of like artists, especially big artists, yelling at their DJs. Some of it has been the influence of drugs. Some of it has been just, it's just not their day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like I haven't messed up, because I have. I messed up plenty times. But I think it's like your bounce back. Like, how are you able to like get back and fix the situation, rectify it? Mm-hmm. That comes with experience. Learning how to, there's a problem, let me fix it in a few seconds, especially if it's live. If it's in practice is where you can mess up.
Exactly.
But live, you should not.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh yeah, I don't know the specific instance and what was going on with the DJ. If he was, it could be everything from like his blood sugar was low, and it was hot. Like, now that I'm older, I think about stuff like that.
Yeah. Where my blood sugar at right now?
For real.
Hey, did I drink enough water?
For real, like why am I not thinking clearly?
Yeah.
It could literally be like because I did not have a bottle of water that today.
So I want to end it in I guess this part of the conversation on like how. Since now that you're here in LA, like I know you talked about it a little bit as far as like the artists have put you on and you've been blessed to work with these kind of people, but how has that like, or I should say it like this, like what advice could you give somebody who's might be scared to go into a bigger scene like LA or like whatever the next bigger city is to expand themselves as far as a brand?
That's good. What do you want to do? Figure out what you want to do. You're going to have to figure out what it's going to take to get there. Because, again, I mentioned I was an introvert. When I came back to LA, I was like, I really want to DJ. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have this job, this 9 to 5, but I ultimately would love to DJ, and this is the place to do it. How am I going to get myself out of my comfort zone, which is being at home or being in a corner somewhere? Mm-hmm. How am I going to do that? I have to go meet people. One of the first things I did was I rolled up to Delicious Pizza, aka Delicious Vinyl, and shout out to DJ Kid Fresh, and that whole crew. And I'm still like really tight with them to this day. I walked in and it was a whole like DJ meetup, and I'm talking about DJs who are touring with Next and what's his Drew Hill, like and they're in there cutting up. And I was like, okay, I found them on Instagram, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna DJ. And the first day I was like, okay, I'm just gonna chill. But 15 minutes in I was like, oh, I can do this. And I sat there and I put like 15 songs together and I killed my set. Mm-hmm. And they were so impressed. Now had I just gone home straight after work, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I would still be at my 9 to 5. I would still be just chilling and hoping maybe I could be a DJ one day. But I got out of my comfort zone, and you can still be yourself in these spaces, because ultimately yourself is what's going to draw people and what's going to keep people. No one wants to meet someone who's fake. Yeah. Be yourself, but there are a few things that you're going to have to do to get out of that comfort zone. Mm-hmm. You got to get out the house. That's the first thing.
And that's coming from an introvert.
Yeah. For real, you got to meet people. Walk into a room, and there's this thing that I'm trying to walk into the room and act like you're supposed to be there, because ultimately you are. Mm-hmm. And if you've been working on your skill, your talent, whatever it is, your craft, that will speak for you louder than any conversation. But you still have to have a conversation with people, and I'm still working on that. I'm still so shy, it's crazy. But I'm getting a lot better at it, because I know that not to be like morbid or anything, but I don't have that much time left. Yeah. So I got to get to where I'm trying to get now.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I love that. I know we hear it all the time, but I have to play this broken record again. There's no such thing as an overnight success. DJ Kase had 5 years of experience DJing private events before we ever saw her on a public stage. Not to mention the 1 year she took teaching herself to mix at her own house parties. Once she finally came onto the scene, she immediately started to shake rooms and inspired a new sound around Fresno. She took on bigger and bigger stages, but there was a major caveat. Though she was gaining notoriety, she was taking a major hit financially. She realized if she wanted to continue to grow in her career, she would have to make the hard decision to get out of her comfort zone and move back home. It's easy to continue to be great where you are, but to evolve, you have to have the gall to take yourself to new heights. DJ Kase decided to move back, but instead of being humble, she chose to show the LA scene she belonged there. Now, she has found her tribe and is on the path to realize new goals. But with success comes balance. So let's listen and understand how she uses intentionality to balance her new levels of success.
Yeah.
And so the most important part, like the reason why the show is called Creative Balance is because I want to kind of, I feel like especially the people our age, they know, they have an idea what they want to do, but they don't know how to maintain that while also maintaining a social life, you might say. And first of all, appreciate you, Omar, for letting us stay a little longer. We're about to close it off with this, but I kind of want to go. I want you to go into, because we talked about it before we started, and I want you to go into how do you balance such an ambitious thing as far as being a creative, which puts you in a lot of places at one time. How do you balance that with having, a social life, whether that be family, friends, significant other, your pets? Like, what does that look like? What are some of the things you do to make that work?
It's difficult, but I feel like it's just being intentional in those times where you do spend time with your family, if you have a significant other, with your friends, with your pets. One thing that I've learned very quickly is when I am not home, my cat feels it and my dog feels it. So when I'm home and I have 20 minutes, I'm sitting there playing with them. I'm being intentional with them. When I'm at home with my family, I try my best to have conversations and to do the things that I can for them when I'm there. Because just like that, I got to hop in the shower and I got to be out for a gig and then come back. And there are many times where I'm tired, but also like setting those times apart, knowing what time is good to, knowing what capacity you have really. Like you can run, but you're going to get ragged. So taking care of yourself and then taking care of the people. You got to take care of yourself first and then take care of the people around you and also take care of business. It is difficult. Life is not easy at all. There's nothing that I can tell you that's going to make life easier for you. But learning how to balance your life will make it more manageable.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there, because I've definitely been in that situation. I've been in my own situation where I let the grind take hold. And I remember somebody talking about, if you're juggling balls, your social life is like a crystal ball. The other balls might be rubber. If you drop the rubber ball of like success and career, it'll like bounce back. But if you drop that crystal ball of like your kind of like your family or something like that, it might crack.
That's good.
Yeah. So I definitely think it's important about being intentional. So I want to ask you about like what are some of the tools you might use? Like I know you talked about being intentional, but like what are some of the tools you use? Because I know you even said like going from inviting friends to a set versus hanging out with them outside of that. Like what are some of the things you have to do?
Yeah, that's one thing we were talking about before the cameras were on. Just it as a creative, as a musician, it is hard to like find the time to hang out with your homies when you're not working. Because like if you're gigged up every single weekend and it's like, hey, come out to this, come out to that. It's about finding those moments where it's like, okay, I can have a drink on a Tuesday night. Can you? Because I'd like to have a conversation with you where I'm not having to go DJ in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Or you're not performing on like stage. Like, because a lot of my friends are creatives also. Some aren't, some are. So it's just about finding those times where we can hang out. Sometimes with my creative friends, it's about hanging out after the gig. And yeah, we're out till like 4 o'clock in the morning just talking about life. But also like just FaceTiming people, texting people, checking in. Life is so crazy, you got to check in with your people. And I know this, and I'm saying it knowing that I haven't checked in with some people, but life is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, coming off of this, I think I've been to like 5 funerals this year alone. Started the year with a funeral.
Oh, wow.
Life is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that takes a toll. So check in with your people, because we don't have a lot of time left.
Yeah. So also want to on the mental part, because to like kind of piggyback off the check-in, like how do you maintain your mental wellness, as far as like example, you made the necessary step to like leave Fresno and come to LA. Part of it was financial, but I imagine a lot of that was also a mental relief. How do you prioritize like the mental state, like while also having that? Does that like what does that look like for you?
I cannot find joy in the things that I want to do, the things that I love, if my mental is so jacked up from everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this literally after like I quit my job. I had to quit my job because my mental, my spiritual, and my physical, everything was jacked up.
Yeah.
To where the point where I had to be on prescriptions and I was limping because I wasn't smiling or talking all day.
Yeah.
And I'd come home and just go straight to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, how do I DJ?
Yeah, exactly.
How do I DJ after that? Yeah, I have a job, and yeah, my bills are being paid, but now how do I live after that? So I had to make the choice to say, hey, if I really want to be creative and I really want to even just have joy in life, as someone who believes that yes, this world is not perfect, and yes, I'm working towards a higher goal and working towards going somewhere else, but I need to find joy here. I wasn't doing that where I was, so I had to make the decision to figure out, am I going to be super financially stable?
Mm-hmm.
In a sense, or am I going to find stability in all these other things? And after making that choice, God was like, you'll be good financially, don't worry. And I was like, okay, cool.
Exactly.
So that's what we're doing.
Nice.
So it's about balance. I keep saying it. Like, as you get older, you learn, I got to balance things. I have to balance friends, family, work, joy, fun, play, everything. Like, you can't have too much of anything. I got to balance the things that I eat, or else I'm not going to feel well. For real.
No, for real. I can attest to that one recently. Been ripping and running and eating fast food, and literally, like, the other day I was sitting there looking at this croissant sandwich. I'm like, bro, I don't want this. I want some oatmeal and some bananas, bro. Like,
Exactly. And it's just like, okay, what is going to do the best for me?
mm-hmm.
And that just comes with maturity and just really like, okay, what do I want?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. What am I willing to let go of to get what I want? And that's where I'm at.
Nice. I appreciate you, DJ Kase. This has been a great interview. I really appreciate you for giving me the time. I know coming back from birthday, you're probably like, man, I don't want to be here.
No, this was great. My hair was done, so this was perfect.
Perfect timing.
I know, right? That's
but
crazy.
I do want you to, that's your camera right there. I want you to, tell people where to find you and what you got going on.
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, DJ Kase Mix. That's DJ KASEMIX. Twitter is kind of crazy, but you can find me on Instagram. Also, on Instagram, if you check the link tree in my bio, you'll find everything else. The mixtape is at the top. You can click the link and download it for $3 or more. It's $3 because I turned 33.
Yeah, nice.
So, yeah. I dropped all my my blends, my case mixes of the week. And that's basically just your favorite acapellas with your favorite instrumentals that aren't supposed to go together, but they do.
Yeah.
Right? You can find them there. Yeah, you could just hit me up.
Appreciate you. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. This was dope. And shout out to 88 Keys. Like, this place.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, if you're in this area, if you're in LA, come visit. Come, leave a tip. The drinks are amazing. The vibe is amazing. If you're a musician, they do events here. Hit them up.
Exactly. Appreciate you.
All right, appreciate you too. All right, y'all. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Creative Balance Show with the very inspiring DJ Kase. I don't know about you, but I'm inspired to be more well-rounded in my own craft. To find out more about the show and find other episodes like this, check out wuziapparel.com/pod, or you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you prefer to listen to your podcasts. If you're watching the video version, do me a favor, like this video and subscribe for more content. To my audio listeners, if you enjoyed the episode, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. It helps out a lot. This is Najara, better known as Wuzi, and thank you for listening to The Creative Balance Show presented by Wuzi Apparel.